Pride is the master of deception. When you think you are occupied in the weightiest business, that is when it has you in its clutches. This comes to us from Marcus Aurelius. And I think the first part, well, actually, the whole quote is just immensely powerful for the prideful. Because I find so often in my own life, and I believe if you look objectively enough, with enough unbiasedness, you will see when pride starts to seep in to areas of your life, they start to crumble. They start to decay almost. I find when I start becoming prideful, when I start thinking that what I'm doing is so worthy, how I spend my time is so much better than how other people choose to spend theirs, when I think I no longer have things to learn, even though that thought only comes to me in my worst moments, I'm quickly reminded of how wrong I am. And it's almost like something is out there or in you that just wants to, wake you up, give you a wake up call and say, see, you are not all that you think. You are not as good as you thought. Humble yourself. Realize that you have far to go and you will always have far to go. Because the second you become prideful, the second you become, the second you think you know it all, is the second you have unlearned it all. Because truly to truly know it all, to truly be wise, is to know that you will never know it all, is that you will never be truly wise. So when you lose the capacity to understand that, you lose much of what you've gained. And being able to see that, and how you know it's true, is it's paradoxical. And every great truth is paradoxical with another great truth. And whenever I come across a paradox, I like to think I've stumbled upon something of profound importance, because, as I said, all paradoxes are truths. Not all, but all truths are paradoxes, it seems, but not all paradoxes are truths. Um, but it's interesting to me in this day and age how pride is looked upon. I mean, pride is one of the sins, one of the seven deadly sins. And, you know, in my hometown, one of the schools is now called, um, Sanford Pride Elementary. I mean, it doesn't really matter if you guys know where I'm from. I don't really care. Um, but imagine a Sanford Lust Elementary, or a Sanford Greed, or a Sanford Envy, or a Sanford Sloth. I don't understand. Well, actually, I do understand. But let me go with my point. I don't understand why pride is now romanticized in this day and age. But I do understand it because I myself, it's the easiest one to romanticize. Because there's a slippery slope between pride and confidence, and honor and pride. Because to do great work, to do great things, you have to have some sense of confidence and honor. And, I don't know what the right term for the moderation of pride is, but you do need to have some, we'll just call it pride for lack of a better term, in your work. Or it's just, it doesn't feel like it's alive, it feels dead when you don't put that passion that pride can sometimes give you into things. but it's a slippery slope, and it's the master of deception, as Marcus Aurelius says. I mean, even in the book Rules for a Night, right there, very good book, very short, highly recommend. Um, one of the rules for a night, I think there's 21 rules, and one of them's pride. And he speaks on how pride is, it's been a while since I read the book, so forgive me, but I think speaks on the fact that pride is essential for a night. A night of, I mean, most likely Christendom, of Catholic, of maybe like a crusader, potentially. But it says the core of, not the core, but an element of a knight is pride. So there is something almost, I want to say, adjacent to pride that is powerful, that is essential in the development of a good man. But it is not pride, for pride is more ugly. There's no humility in pride. There's whatever the other thing is, there's humility in it. There's an openness to being wrong. But at the same time, there's when presenting what you have done, there's a feeling of accomplishment, of happiness that your name is on it. But I think if you can just look back at your own life and see how each time we become too prideful in an endeavor, as I said, the second you think you have learned it all, you've just unlearned one of the most valuable lessons you could ever learn, that you will never learn at all. In any endeavor, in any pursuit, in anything. Because I am honestly a firm believer in there is no staying the same. You're either becoming better or you're becoming worse. There's no just riding out this line of being the same. Because if you're not improving, you're diminishing. And that's exactly what I think pride does to you. You can be on the path of improvement, but pride just seeps in and you start becoming worse. Even if on paper you're becoming better, even if you're receiving more earthly praise, even if you're receiving more earthly things, you're not being better. You're not becoming better in the sense of your soul and in the sense of wisdom and in the sense of things that actually matter. And I think soon enough you will fall and you will see how hubris you were and how pride was your downfall. Your lack of humility was what caused your destruction. I think this is true in most every endeavor. And I don't know what the right word is for the thing that we need, for the thing that, for when you feel good that your name is on something, when you feel good about what you did, when you feel a sense of fulfillment. I don't know what the right thing to say is, but I think there needs to be a different word. And it's not, because it's not pride, because pride is something else that destroys you. But that thing makes you better. And that thing has deep roots in humility, where pride shares no roots nor branches with humility.